Louis Vuitton doesn't just sell luxury. They train their employees to be luxury. When you walk into an LV store, you immediately feel the difference. The way the employees greet you, the way they carry themselves, the way they make you feel, it's intentional. It's designed. And it's because LV doesn't hire regular salespeople. They craft high-value professionals. Think about it. How is it that a simple leather bag, stitched together like any other, can command thousands of dollars? It's not just the bag, it's the experience. It's the exclusivity. And a huge part of that comes from the way LV employees present themselves. They are trained to embody the very essence of the brand: elegance, confidence, and control. But here's the thing. What Louis Vuitton teaches its employees isn't just about selling luxury. It's about being high value in every aspect of life. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. Because if a company can train people to exude prestige and power, you can do the same for yourself. Let's get into it. 1. Rigorous selection process. They don't hire just anyone. First, let's talk about who even gets the chance to work at LV. You don't just walk in and fill out an application like it's a regular retail job. Louis Vuitton is highly selective. They don't just look at experience, they look at presence, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, and even the energy you bring into a room. They specifically seek out people who already have a polished, refined demeanor. If you look too desperate, too casual, or too unsure of yourself, you're out. Because LV understands that luxury isn't just about products, it's about the people selling them. 2. The luxury mindset training. Teaching employees to think like high-value people. Once you're in, the real training begins. Louis Vuitton doesn't just train employees on sales techniques. They train them on mindset. They are taught to carry themselves like the very clients they serve. Think about that. The same level of poise, the same level of exclusivity, the same level of confidence. They are trained to never appear eager or desperate for a sale. Have you ever walked into an LV store and felt pressured? No. Because they are taught to maintain an aura of exclusivity. They don't need to convince you to buy. You already want it. And that's a skill high-value women should adopt in their daily lives. You never chase. You attract. 3. Client psychology. Understanding high-value customers. Luxury shoppers are not your average consumers. They don't shop out of necessity. They shop for status, experience, and validation. Louis Vuitton employees are trained to recognize this and adjust their approach accordingly. They learn how to read body language, how to make a client feel like the most important person in the room, and, most importantly, how to mirror the energy of exclusivity. You will never hear an LV employee aggressively selling a product. Instead, they subtly guide the client to feel like they are joining an elite club. It's psychology, and it's powerful. 4. Product knowledge and storytelling. Selling a legacy, not a bag. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest aspects of LV's training: storytelling. You see, Louis Vuitton doesn't want their employees to sell bags. They want them to sell a story, a lifestyle, a legacy. Every LV employee goes through extensive training to learn about the history of the brand, the craftsmanship behind each piece, and the exclusivity of certain collections. They are trained to weave this information into conversations effortlessly. Because when you buy a Louis Vuitton bag, you're not just buying leather. You're buying a piece of history, a legacy of prestige. And that's what justifies the price. This is something high-value women can learn from. You don't just present yourself as beautiful. You present yourself as rare, as valuable, as someone with a story worth investing in. That's the difference between someone who merely exists and someone who commands attention. Understand that Louis Vuitton employees don't just sell luxury, they embody it. From the moment they step onto the sales floor, everything about their presence is intentional. Their posture is poised, their movements are deliberate, and their speech is controlled. There's no rushing, no desperation, no over-explaining. Why? Because high-value people don't need to convince you. They let their presence do the talking. This is one of the biggest takeaways from LV's training. When you carry yourself like luxury, you become luxury. One of the most striking things about LV employees is their sense of exclusivity. They don't act like typical retail workers eager to make a sale. Instead, they project an aura of calm confidence, as if they are granting you the privilege of experiencing the brand. And this is intentional. Louis Vuitton understands that the energy of its employees directly affects how customers perceive the products. If the salesperson appears too available, too eager, or too accommodating, the illusion of exclusivity is shattered. This is why LV employees are trained to control the tempo of the interaction. They move slowly, they speak in measured tones, and they always leave room for mystery. High-value women can apply this same principle in their daily lives. You don't need to over-explain yourself, overshare your personal life, or prove your worth to anyone. The most powerful people are the ones who don't try too hard. Another key element of their presence is scarcity. Ever noticed how an LV employee never follows you around the store, begging for your attention? Instead, they strategically give you space, making you feel like you are the one seeking their expertise. This is a calculated move. When something is too available, it loses its value. The same applies to how high-value women present themselves in relationships, friendships, and professional spaces. The moment you start overgiving or overextending yourself, people subconsciously place less value on you. LV teaches its employees to mirror the very essence of exclusivity, and in doing so, they increase demand without ever asking for it. Then there's the art of refinement. LV employees don't just dress well, they carry themselves in a way that commands respect. Their body language is composed, their eye contact is steady, and their speech is intentional. They are taught to use pauses effectively, to speak with certainty, and to avoid filler words that make them seem unsure. This is how they project authority without ever raising their voice. And this is an essential lesson for high-value women. Your presence should speak before you do. Whether you're walking into a room, engaging in a conversation, or simply existing in a space, the way you carry yourself determines how people will treat you. Louis Vuitton's employees are not just trained to sell products, they are trained to reflect an aspirational lifestyle. And this is why their presence is so magnetic. They don't chase, they attract. They don't overgive, they control the exchange. They don't try to prove their worth. They exist as proof of it. And that is the key to becoming truly high value. What Louis Vuitton teaches its employees goes far beyond luxury retail. It's a blueprint for how to move through the world as a high-value woman. The same principles that make LV employees so poised, magnetic, and in control are the same principles that can elevate how you present yourself in every aspect of life. Because at the core of it, luxury isn't just about expensive handbags or designer labels. It's about how something makes people feel. And when you understand that, you realize that you can be luxury. You can be the experience. You can be the presence that lingers in people's minds long after you've left the room. The first lesson from LV's training is carrying yourself like a luxury brand. High-value women don't walk into spaces shrinking themselves. They take their time. They move with intention. They speak in a way that commands attention without begging for it. Just like LV employees don't flood you with information or pressure you into a purchase, a high-value woman never feels the need to prove herself. She knows her worth is already established, whether people recognize it or not. This is why luxury brands can command such high prices, because they have set the standard that they don't need to convince you. You either see the value or you don't, and high-value women move the same way. Another key takeaway is controlling the energy in a room. LV employees are trained to set the tone for interactions, never allowing customers to feel like they have the upper hand. They remain poised, they don't chase, and they subtly dictate the pace of the conversation. This is something high-value women must master in their relationships, careers, and social interactions. The moment you allow desperation, over-explaining, or seeking approval to creep in, you give your power away. LV understands that exclusivity isn't about being available to everyone. It's about being selective. And the same applies to how you allow people access to you. Then there's the lesson of saying less, but meaning more. Louis Vuitton employees don't oversell because they don't need to. Instead, they create an air of mystery and prestige around their products. High-value women operate in the same way. They don't overshare personal details, they don't explain themselves excessively, and they don't feel the need to fill silence with nervous chatter. When you are truly high value, your words carry weight because they are intentional. You don't have to say a lot. Your presence already speaks volumes. Lastly, Louis Vuitton employees never act like they need you to buy. They know that LV's reputation is solid, that their products are already in demand, and that their job is simply to guide you into making a decision you already wanted to make. This is how high-value women should approach their interactions with people, whether it's in dating, friendships, or business. You are the prize. You don't beg, you don't convince, you don't force people to see your value. You exist as proof of it. And the ones who understand that, they'll recognize it without you ever having to say a word. Louis Vuitton has mastered the psychology of high value. And if a company can train its employees to embody this level of prestige, so can you. It's not just about the clothes you wear or the labels you own. It's about how you carry yourself, how you control your energy, and how you make others feel when they interact with you. High value isn't something you buy. It's something you become. At its core, Louis Vuitton's training system is not just about selling luxury. It's about embodying it. The way their employees carry themselves, control their presence, and create an air of exclusivity is a masterclass in what it means to be high value. And the best part, these principles are not limited to retail or high-end brands. You can apply them in your own life. Whether it's in how you present yourself, how you interact with others, or how you command respect without demanding it, the key is to move with intention, confidence, and exclusivity. So ask yourself, how are you presenting yourself to the world? Are you over-explaining, over-giving, and trying too hard to prove your worth? Or are you moving like a woman who knows she is valuable? Start embodying these principles today. Walk into every room with confidence. Speak with certainty. Set high standards and stick to them. Because when you start treating yourself like luxury, the world has no choice but to do the same. If you enjoyed this breakdown of high-value psychology, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more content, and drop a comment below. What's one high-value principle you're going to start implementing today? Let's talk about it.